Welcome to Generally Speaking, the off-season edition. I'm your host, Angelo Fioris, also known as @NJ_Generals on Twitter, part of the USFL Today. Follow me and the @USFL Today account on Twitter for all the news, notes, and information about the USFL. No one covers the USFL like the USFL Today. I'm happy to share some of my shows from the last year. 2022 was such an amazing year for the growth of the league, for the growth of spring football, for my personal growth as a host of this show. And I was able to make many, many connections with players and coaches from across the league and especially on the New Jersey Generals. So for the next few weeks, as we count down the days until training camp, I want to do a feature called the 2022 Look Back, where I will share with you a past interview. This one was one of my particular favorites because it involves one of my favorite generals, Toby Johnson. He's such a candid guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's genuine, and he makes some bold predictions for the 2022 season. So take a listen. I know you're going to enjoy this one. Toby Johnson. I'm super thrilled to bring on my next guest. He was an important part of the 2022 Generals defense. He's a great guy. We've had him on before. None other than big Toby Johnson. Toby, welcome, man.
Appreciate you for having me today.
Man, I appreciate you for coming on. You're one of those guys that whenever we reach out and we say, Toby, can you come on with us? You never deny, man. You know, sometimes it takes a little while to hook it up, and that's totally understandable. We got all kinds of stuff happening, but nobody delivers like you and Darius, man, and we really appreciate it too.
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate y'all for doing what y'all doing for the league. Not only myself, the other teams, everybody. We just appreciate y'all for real.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys right back. It's all about sharing your stories, right? Your talent, sharing all that stuff with the people that are fans and the people that could eventually become fans. And I also feel like we've begun to develop friendships with all of you guys because it has been an organic growth. No one in the mainstream knew who many of you players were in February before there was even a draft. And we started bringing a bunch of you on, just talking to anybody that might have been in the draft. And then finally you guys got allocated to teams. And as the year went on and we've been talking more and exchanging messages, whether it's on Twitter or even texting or whatever, you guys are like friends now. And that's pretty cool too. I never expected that to happen when we started doing this.
Yeah, man. You got to be friendly. It's all about networking nowadays, networking, building a rapport with everybody. And, you never know, like, you can get far with people, super far. Football can take you places, but people feel like people in a good relationship can take you way farther. Yeah.
Well, and it really does punctuate that statement, football is life. That person you meet today, 10 years from now, could be running some company and says, Toby's perfect for this gig. I got to call my boy Toby. We talked about exactly this back then, or whatever. I know that stuff has happened to me in life, in my professional career.
Yep. You never know who you may need. So you got to treat people for real. Right. Wait.
It's true. I mean, I spent like 15 years in radio working with a lot of talented people, Toby, from sports to news to traffic to weather, show hosts, all kinds of stuff. And as my career evolved out of radio and I was doing other things like marketing and advertising and working on campaigns, I actually had the opportunity to reach back out to people that I used to work with and give them some voiceover gigs and say, hey, you'd be perfect for this. You want to take this job? It pays and, maybe we can get more out of it. So that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say you never know who, the guy you're lined up next to, in April is someone you're going to be lined up next to in a whole different situation 10 years from now. It's wild, huh?
Yeah.
So Darius is one of your best friends on the team.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. And you guys are like inseparable. Like Darius says, where Toby goes, I go. But who's your number 2 guy on the team?
I like a lot of people on the team. I pretty much hang out with Diddy. A lot of the guys. I say a lot of the guys. You'll be surprised. I hang out with more DBs than D linemen because I had D linemen. Most of them stayed in the hotel, so they really didn't do a lot outside of football. They was want to be cooped up in the hotel the whole time. But
you don't like that?
No, I like getting out. No, I won't say getting out, but I like the camaraderie. That's one of the reasons I'm still playing or whatever. I love the camaraderie. So yeah, I like to get out. DBs,
So
they
you were
they
hanging
like
out with like Askew Henry and
all of
Devontae Bosby and those guys, right? And Paris Ford.
we all stayed in the same building. So of course, we was gonna hang out more. Pretty much all the guys that was in the same building or whatever, we we hung out the most, I say.
Shalom Luani, was he in that group too?
Now he was at the hotel.
Uh,
Yeah, he was at the hotel. That's my dog though. Like
yeah,
he a beast.
yeah.
Like
He
that's
had he had a great season. It was a shame he got hurt there for a couple of weeks because he was doing some great things, and then he came back and he kept doing the great things. It was awesome.
oh, he's a ball player for sure. Like
Yeah,
he for real. Like for real, for real. He's for real. Yeah, I vouch for him any day. Like for sure.
yeah. He brings like a level of intensity that's just different than anybody else, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty much like I said. With me, Tyshawn, and did it. We rode together to practice most of the time
Yeah.
together. Like sometimes, Drayvon to jump in the car, Hines to jump in the car. So because we all, like I said, we stayed downtown at the Ascend. So we all used to ride together to practice and everything a lot.
Did you stay in that hotel for a while before you broke out, or did you find your own place right away?
I stayed in there only during camp. When soon camp ended, I was out of there. Like I couldn't, I couldn't stand there that long. Like, cause they had all type of restriction. Couldn't bring like no family members, no friends, no nothing. Even if there was guys, like they didn't want nobody around. So I had a lot of friends that I played with in college. Always used to come down to see me, and I actually have like one of my bestest friends, Mark Beard, actually lived. He from Birmingham, and he moved back to Birmingham after he got done playing at Georgia. So, I always wanted to get out and just, his mama cook good food. I'd be want to go
Nice.
over. So yeah, that's what I be doing. I be like to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. So you weren't one of them guys that said, I'm just going to stay here in the Sheraton and then wait in that long ass line for the microwave at 11:30 at night.
No, no,
Did
no,
you see
no.
that scene there?
Yeah, it was like that for real. But they had like a Subway out there that was pretty good. But it
Oh,
was
yeah.
super
It was
expensive.
right next to the doorway where you guys were going in and out. Right. Right.
One Subway was cheap. That Subway was super expensive. I said some chips and a drink were like $17. Every day I used to go, I used to be like, I can't remember when Subway got this expensive. I
Wow.
was
At that
like
subway,
$7.
that subway in Birmingham.
It was super expensive.
Wow, man. I mean, we walked across the street before the game, before opening night against the Stallions, you guys. We walked
Mhm.
across the street and we ate at that Eugene's Hot Chicken.
I love that place. I
That place
love it.
was great, man. I got the medium and my mouth was on fire. I can't even imagine what level did you get when you ate there?
I always get like hot or medium. Either I like spicy food, so I try to get the max. I get the hottest of the hot. I used to go there a lot. I used to go there a lot.
Yeah, it was
Get
good. Coach Runnels from the Gamblers is who turned us on to that. He sent a tweet and said, "Hey, if you're in Birmingham, this is the shop to go." And we made it a point to check it out. It was spot on.
it was walking distance. Like you walk through the parking garage where they had us at. We was right there.
Yeah,
All
you
the
could.
little, all the stuff they had around in that area in that little plaza, it was top notch. So
Yeah,
they
that was
did.
a cool little hangout. Like before the games, there was lots of people going in there, a lot of action. Too bad it was raining that first day though, the way it
Oh,
did.
yeah, I was pretty tired that game. Oof, that game now that was a. I feel like we should have had like a real preseason game because we had preseason, but it was like it was scripted. So it took us like a week or two to really get our legs up on us and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, so you guys had like controlled scrimmages, right, during the camp, and then when you got to that game against the Stallions, I got to tell you though, except for some of those penalties that you expect in a first game, like false starts and delays of game and things like that, I felt like both teams played a fairly clean game that night, Toby.
Oh yeah, for sure. Both defenses was lights out that game. I feel like our defense kind of got tired at the end, and that cost us the game. including myself. Like it cost us. I feel like that long run they had up the middle. If I wouldn't have never came out the game, it wouldn't have happened. And when I went back in the game down there on the goal line, instead of me, I didn't do my job. Just I should have rushed instead of trying to cover that tight end who I seen him run.
So
And
you're
he just,
talking about the play where Jamar scored the winning touchdown?
yeah, I feel like if I would have just rushed and kept rushing over there, I would have made a play. I would have made a
Right.
play on.
That was a tough play. You got to give Jamar credit. He kept the play going. He moved from one side to the other, and then the opening was there for him, and he took it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. So, but I owe him one. So that's one of the reasons I'm coming back. I gotta finish what I started. So I'm ready.
That is awesome, and I am so glad that you're coming back, man. Because it was an awesome season. I got to tell you a funny story. Okay, so week nine against Michigan.
Before, so it was like, was it Pittsburgh? Could have been Pittsburgh. We played Philly week 10. Yeah, it was
Right.
Pittsburgh.
So that was the game where you made that crazy acrobatic interception.
That was Michigan then.
Michigan. Okay. So I was in Italy the day of that game. I was in Italy like middle of June. And so I wasn't going to miss a game though. So I had like the VPN and I was able to get onto like my account and watch the game. And it's like 2 a.m. I'm in this little Airbnb with like only a few people in the rooms. My girlfriend's asleep next to me, and I'm watching the game on my phone. And Toby makes the interception, and I jumped out of the bed and I started screaming, "The big man with the interception! The big man with the interception!" And I woke up my girlfriend, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "You got to see what Toby Johnson just did! Unbelievable, dude! 2 a.m. 3,000 miles, 5,000 miles away. I was cheering you on, dude.
I appreciate it. It took the air out of me. I jumped off and caught that ball. I had to get it, big play just to get it. My mama was actually at that game, so I had to do something.
Nice.
I knew they wasn't gonna run the ball. Michigan was known to be a running team, but I knew they weren't gonna run the ball to my side a lot because even though that interception happened early in the game, they was changing formation. Like we was on to their plays a lot, and they made some big plays in that game. But as far as in the running game, we was on them. We was on them, and they were switching side. Every side I go on there, go to the opposite side. So I'm like, I ain't gonna make this many plays this game, so I might as well try to do something, sell out, do something. My mama came to the game.
Give her something to talk about on the way home, right? Well, that was unbelievable, man. Showing the agility of a man, half your size to pull that one off. And I did talk about it in the post game show that I recorded from Italy because I wasn't going to miss a show. But good stuff. Both Michigan games, you mentioned it in our AMA back in August, Toby. That first Michigan game was one of the toughest games you guys had all year.
Yeah, Michigan, like I said, Michigan is a team that's loaded with talent.
Yeah.
Like they should not be losing as many games that they lost. And, like I said, I feel like they came with leadership. The guys that, the leaders in the locker room. I won't even say coaches. I feel like players, they had a lot of good players that, had the talent and they played ball, but they just, they couldn't finish or they'll blow up on the sideline. Michigan is loaded with talent. From top to bottom, from the O-line, the quarterbacks was good too, but the receiving core was good. Running back. Defensive line was their defensive line was super good. Like for real. They was 9-10 deep. They were dressed like 8-9 guys. We most games we went to the game 5 guys. So it was like
man.
Yeah.
Well, have you been keeping up with all the signings that the team's been doing since the season ended?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with some, especially our team. I'll be keeping up with it a little bit. If I see something on Twitter, I'll look at it or whatever.
They brought in a bunch of O-linemen. They brought in a few guys on the defense so far, a couple guys on the offense. With the expanded rosters, they got the room now. I'm liking the guys they're bringing in.
You can never get too many O-linemen, too many D-linemen. We had that. We kind of got banged up a lot during the season. And, over time, they was putting me in on field goal a lot of the time.
Right.
Like, I had already prepared my mind for, if something happened, I was gonna have to go jump on the O line for a player too. I had to already prepare my mind. So hopefully they expand the rosters a little bit and give guys proper, because we kind of rushed into everything,
Right.
and I feel like I have a bigger roster to take a lot of pressure off guys' legs and stuff. Because Coach Riley, he wasn't a big physical guy like as far as contact, but as far as he a fast paced, tempo type guy in practice. So get to the game be super easy.
There was a couple games you guys went into it with, I think, only 6 O linemen.
Yeah,
with everyone playing every down.
Yeah, most of them, and it's just the same way on defense. Like I said, the first game, we only went into the game with 2D tackles. So when Destiny got hurt, it killed us. It killed us. I was in there fighting for my life, and so it's like,
man, you put in like 2 seasons worth of work this year, man.
But over the last 2 years before I got up there, when I was playing here in arena ball, it was the same way. Man, I mean, like, I'm playing 60, 70 plays a game. So
wow.
It took a lot off. Even though the fields were small, it just took a lot. It put some miles on me for sure.
Hey, man, smaller field or not, a snap and contact happens in that same 1 yard space, no matter how much space is behind.
For real.
That's the same. That's the same activity.
Yeah, it's no different in the trenches in arena or what you call. Feel like most of the better players that played arena was some of the better guys in the outdoor. We had a lot of that, Jarek and them guys. He was a center from New Orleans. He made the all USFL. He was actually out here. We had we had about 9, 10 guys from our team that was out there just balling, going crazy. Probably had about 30, but out of the 9, 10 guys, like, they was all going crazy.
You alluded to the Panthers being pretty loaded and having a lot more talent than their record showed. Couldn't you say the same thing about Pittsburgh?
Yes, especially D-line. I talk to them a lot, but Pittsburgh had like I said, leadership, and I want I don't speak on coaches or whatever, but I think that it started at the top from there. I feel like talking to the guys, a lot of them didn't. I feel like they ain't see eye to eye with their coach, so it was hard to play for a guy like that. But I really, they definitely had talent. They had the little receiver. I liked him a lot. Actually, had 2 or 3 good receivers.
Yeah.
But he was a gunner. I used to go to all the games. I never missed no games. I supported everybody.
Did you go? You kept going? You went to all the other teams?
Every game.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, that's cool.
But even after my games, I stay for the rest of the game. So yeah, I never missed it. I had homeboys on every team, but Michigan D-line was real good. They had some good. They had a good physical O-line. They were physical. I mean, because they ran the ball every place. That's why they physical. But they was physical. Like I said, I just don't understand. They gave us a run for our money that last game at the other stadium for sure.
Oh, at Legion Field against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that kind of got us on a. We kind of started doubting ourselves. I say that game because we went into that game with, man, we finna go on, just get this over with early, and then you look up in the fourth quarter, we fighting for our life. Like,
that was another one of those games.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, I think you guys started at noon, and it was like 100 degrees.
It was
in week 8.
Every game I played, no, I think that was a night game. That night game. I think that's week 10 we played Philadelphia. But that game was so hot, like super hot. You couldn't drink enough water in Alabama to not cramp up. It just impossible. By the time I go into it after warm-ups, because I warm up twice. I warm up before the warm-up. So I go out there and do my little warm-ups, come back in, I shower, put on all my gear, then we go do the team warm-up.
All right.
I be out of gas, but the first 2 series is like, they used to tell me all the time, like, Toby, don't warm up today. You ain't going out there. I'm just so used to it. It ain't me. It's the what I've been doing this my whole life. I always warm up twice to get going, get loose.
it's sometimes hard to judge because you are so used to it, right? You'll do that same pace that you're normally doing, and then you don't think about the fact that it's going to catch you like by the third quarter,
Even
and
in
that little bit of juice you used up there beforehand, a couple hours before, you really could use it right about now.
even in that playoff game, I overdid it. Overdid it bad.
Yeah.
Tweaked my back and did all type of stuff because just overly anticipating the game, wanting to play so bad. And like I said, I'm just this year I'm gonna take it easy. I'm gonna take
Pace
it easy.
yourself, right?
Yeah, take it easy.
Let's talk about the playoff game for a minute, because in all honesty, defensively, you guys played very well. The one
So,
touchdown they scored on offense was because of the short field. After the
yeah,
interception return, they started 1st and 10 from the 12. I mean, you're not, your back's against the wall there. You can't be perfect every time. Their field goal that they got on the first drive was a pretty nice drive to open the game. You give them credit for
yeah.
that. And then their other touchdown was on special teams. You keep looking around for the answers, like what the hell went wrong that day when even with 2 minutes left, it was still in the hands of the Generals to control the outcome.
Well, I feel like we went into the game not being ourselves. Like, yeah, what we is a physical team on both sides of the ball, offensive line, D line, and we kind of used that to our advantage. So our O line, the way we run stuff, what we do, we on offense, we pound the ball, pound the ball. We'll go about a touchdown or two, or say we go about 10 points. Well, they panicking now. They panicking. So
Right.
a lot, they ain't gonna too much put the ball on the ground like that. When they do, especially when the game first started, we getting 3-and-out, 3-and-out. Well, after that, they putting the ball in the air a lot of times. So people started attacking us because, we was on paper we was a 3-down defense, but we played a lot of 4-down. But we had different personnel. We didn't really have a lot of the personnel. So kind of in the end of the season, we started getting exposed a little bit. And our weakness, we had a weakness, but we tried to fix that up. But everybody was stuck in their ways. It had
Right.
been working, you know.
Ultimately, it was one of those games where we were sitting in the stands and we were sitting right behind you guys. And before we get to that, what was it like for a change having people there cheering for you guys right behind the bench, actually wearing red and being loud?
I feel like that was a great atmosphere, though. That type of atmosphere, if that league had that type of atmosphere, if we had that type of atmosphere every game this year, I
Yeah.
feel like it can be just as big as any league in professional sports.
Well, it was interesting because that opening night crowd was really good. And then the Stallions themselves drew decent crowds, right? But then we got to Canton and we weren't sure what was
Yeah.
going to happen. We really weren't. I was not certain, Toby. But then, by the time your game entered like the third quarter and it was like 1,000 degrees again, there was like around 8,000 people in that stadium. And it felt good to hear fans from both ends, the Stars fans and the Generals fans, actually cheering for their individual teams. It was cool. We didn't have that all year long.
Yeah. Just seeing the people even when we walked into the hotel after getting off the bus, like it was a lot of people in there. A lot of people, like, of course, a lot of our families and stuff, but there was a lot of other people too, ready for the game. So I was hyped. The night before the game,
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm hyped. I'm ready. So I kind of overworked myself up too much. Man, that's whew. But yeah, like I said, I overworked myself for that game. They had like a little ceremony the day before the game. We was doing like a lot of walking. I'd be off my feet the day before the game. That's another thing.
Yeah, they had you guys touring the Hall of Fame.
That's doing too much, and like we didn't get back to like probably like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's too much. Like that's
Yeah.
it just. But before the game or whatever, the boss was talking from the other team, like, yeah, only thing we gotta do is just get Toby tired. They gonna lay down after that. They gonna lay down. Just make sure we get Toby. They just talking mess. The old ball coach, what his name is, from the Cowboys. He gave me a shout out in the thing. So
Oh, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson, he gave me a shout out in front of the whole what's called, like,
Nice.
he named like 3 players, and I was one of the players. So the boys, I felt the animosity. So of course, when we got out of there, they talking like, yeah, we gonna see them or something. Okay,
Like, why'd he say Toby's name?
Yeah, like why? Like, did you? I had people like, you know him? I'm like, oh, I never met this man a day in my life, And
Ah,
I'm like, man, I'm not. That made me feel good too, because it's just like, man, people really watching this. If this man know who I was, I don't. This man, this a Hall of Fame coach who I am. I'm playing this little league, so it's like, man, I got to go out there and put on tomorrow. I just psych myself out. I psych myself out for you, and that won't happen no more.
it was a new experience, I think, all around for everybody, even for the coaches. I know for you, the sting has not worn off, and you're gonna use that to drive you through all of next season.
Yes, I was hurt. Like like I said, I don't think I felt that type of pain in all the sports, because I never been on a losing team either. Like, the most games I ever lost in the season was 3. I never lost more than 3 games,
Wow.
except my first year at Georgia. Other than that, throughout my whole life, I never lost more than 3 games in the season.
Wow.
So, but before it to happen like this, it was just like when I know I was the better team. All them other times I lost in the big, we probably wasn't the best team. I wouldn't, I gave it my all, but it didn't hurt like this. Birmingham in that championship. I needed to do that for myself to get. I needed to do that. That's why I
Right.
was hurt. I needed to do that. I kept telling them, if y'all can just help me get there, I'm a helper. I'm gonna make sure we win this game. Just get
Yeah.
me there.
It really did sting. And during the second game, when I was hanging out in the stands, I couldn't get my mind off of like how did it go down the way that it went down. And even for like the week after, I really couldn't get it out of my head. I was still trying to process that. Did that really just happen? Did they really lose to Philly in the way that went down, looking nothing like the team of the previous 10 weeks? That's what baffled me. If you went down playing your game, there's nothing wrong with that. But you guys went down playing someone else's game, and I still don't know whose that was.
I cried for at least 6 weeks straight.
Oh
Like,
man.
I didn't leave Birmingham for 6. The first 6 weeks I was in Birmingham, I didn't leave. It was just like I cried every day,
Wow,
like
Toby.
type of pain. Me and Vito running out at the park, just mad. We just running, me and him. It's just like, how did we let this happen to us?
And it puts a damper on what was a great season, but only a little bit. No one was really picking you guys to be that great. They didn't know any better. Who knew what team was going to be good? But I felt like you guys were like the most complete team.
Yeah, we was most definitely. Even you listen to the coaches and a lot of the fans. A lot of people watch. They always be like, "Tough, I still can't believe y'all lost that game." The coaches all the coaches picked us to win the game.
Yeah.
That's the part about it. So it was like,
Yeah. Frustrating.
I ain't gonna never let that happen no more. Last year I didn't want to be all like that, because Vito was telling me, this year I guarantee you win the championship, and that's just what it is. Like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing around.
It's already been like 3 months since the season ended, and we're
Mm-hmm.
only about 3 months ish from camp, draft and
Mm-hmm.
camp. We think it's coming quick, Toby.
Mm-hmm.
How's like the workouts going? Like, what do you do to stay in shape now? It's like getting the cold weather. You're in a cold weather place. You're in Boston, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in
Yeah.
Boston.
So what's
Yeah.
that like in the winter, in the off season, trying to?
Last off season I was here by myself. I'm pretty much gonna be doing the same thing this year, but I just go to Crunch. They got a thing out here called Crunch Fitness, and I just a couple of my guys, we just hit it hard enough. Right now I'm back to my normal strength as I was before I went to the USFL last year. So I'm building my strength more and more. I got to still get better with my conditioning. I ain't really thumped it yet. I ain't really hit like peak yet. So I'm just really just working my way up back into it like that. And I don't want to pull no muscles or nothing like that. But
Yeah,
it's going
yeah.
good right now. It's going good for me. It's real good.
Did you ever work out with a personal coach, like someone who's just dedicated to teaching line technique and stuff like that in an off season?
I done worked out with a lot of guys. I done met with a lot from Miami to Georgia to Texas to some of the top guys, B. Jordan. I done worked out a lot of the top guys that work a lot of the guys out. And I just feel like, though, as far as like stuff like that, don't nobody push me as more as I push myself. Like, when I go to them guys, I'm always looking to learn like new techniques and stuff. Like, I tell them, like, let's work on stuff that end and do, not a D tackle, end. Because I feel like as far as a D tackle, I watch so much film and so many D tackles to the point where I feel like I kind of got that down. I want to be one of the big guys that able to do the stuff that them small guys do. And I feel like that will separate me from a lot of the players. A lot of the big guys, they don't want to do the bending. They don't want to do the movements. They don't want to. Me, I'm all for that. I work out. I do all the receiver releases, and you know what I mean, because that stuff works.
Right.
I get on the ladder drill. I'm get on them jump ropes. I'm doing all type of stuff because that's gonna keep me, above the rest.
That's that agility that we were talking about in that interception. That comes from doing stuff like those ladder drills and those receiver releases and things like that.
Yeah, I really hone in on the stuff that a lot of the big guys don't like to do. And I've been telling a lot of the guys, though, I post stuff here and there on Instagram about, like if you're a D lineman, work on this right here or do this right here, it'll take your game to the next level. And I done had a lot of good feedback from, even guys in the USFL, let alone the young guys, like, man, I ain't know, like, man, this all, like, because we, as being a big dude, you don't want to do a lot of drills that's super hard on your joints. Because a lot of people think working out is all, like, running, conditioning.
Right.
Well, you can just sit in this small area right here and get better doing, like, hand stuff, or get better mirror stepping, or get better, like, just off the door, off any little thing. So, yeah.
So there's, like, drills that don't involve heavy impact. There's drills you could do that don't involve a lot of heavy cardio, no mileage or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you protect your joints as well, right?
And we can sit here the whole time, chop our feet up, hands up, chopping our feet, and going and moving. Boom. After about a good minute or two, if you really going all out, you're going to start feeling it like it's going to hit you like, oh.
You develop that quickness in the hands when you do drills like that. And believe it or not, that is also still some cardio because you're probably out of breath a little bit after you're doing that quick movement with your hands.
I do 10 minutes off a minute on, 10 minutes off a minute on. People think I don't, but people who work out, who done worked out with me, they know, like, I go a whole hour straight, but, not fast, but I push my body for a whole hour straight, like nonstop, like back to back to back to back, because I don't work out to look good. I tell people I look nasty in the uniform. I don't work out to look good. I work out to look good. I'm not lying. If I want to work out to look good, I'd be eating fruit, doing all this. I work out to be able to dominate the man across from me. Or if we competing to do something, I want to be able to beat the guy beside me. So that's just
the workout to look good is a far different workout than what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, bodybuilding. I'm one of the guys that, I don't pass the eye test. I used to, but I've been stopped passing the eye test since college. Now I look like one of the old school nose guards or something. The big.
Right.
I love when they underestimate me.
When you're underestimated in life, really not just football, right, but in everything, when you're underestimated in a situation when you're good.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man, that is the best.
See, a lot of the boys that I played against this year in the USFL, they kind of had already kind of knew about me. We already kind of like knew about each other and all that. But I liked, when I was around the league for them couple of years where, I get on the team and those be like, man, dang, I ain't know you move like that, or I ain't know you do this, or I ain't know you had that in your game. Or it's like, man, I done put on weight since then still, and they still be like, man, Toby, I didn't know you still had that in you. Why you don't do it? It's like, because I accept my role. Whatever role the coach told me, like my coach told me this year, Toby, I want you to dominate on first, second down. Third downs, we got a package for them guys to come in, get them guys reps. Good. I wanted to dominate that role. This year, I'm gonna be a 3-down guy. I already talked to my coach about it. Because people feel like I can't rush the pass no more, only because, I ain't put a lot of it on film. I still led my team in sacks. And I ain't play no third down. So it's like, with 3 sacks, I led the team. So it's
you led the team with 3. You guys, that was the one thing that was the one knock against the defense was that you guys weren't really getting to the QB. You rushed the hell out of the QB. Those guys were scrambling around a lot. But it just
Yeah.
seemed like right when you had the sack in the grasp, they always found a way to step out of it and at least throw the ball away.
They can't blame. I tell our coach, like, you can only blame it on the personnel, because when people come out there and see that personnel, it's like people had them figured us out. You
Right.
bring all ends out there, they figured us out quick. Like, it's quick. Towards the end of the season, I started, like, speaking up, like trying to, like, lead one of us out there. Like, you ain't got to take both of us out there. Just lead me, Destiny, or Kalani out there. Like, so you
Kalani,
never
right.
get a big body, for certain things. I was one of the guys I was the guy that called all of, like, the games and stuff that we'll run up front. But I do it in practice, but we get to the game, when we put that package in, I'm one of the older guys on the team. So the older guys on the D line. So we'll do it at practice, but they want me in there doing it at practice. We get to the game, they want them in there, but they ain't getting the rep. You know what I mean? You gotta. It's one thing to just sit back and watch me do it, but they need to be in there doing it and let me help them from the sideline.
Nothing replaces those reps.
But that come with camaraderie. If we hung together much more off the field, like I said, that we would have. It come with camaraderie. Like I said, Tyshawn, I just hang out with Tyshawn a lot. Like,
Render.
yeah, we had this thing where, like, I can look at him, I can tell him to do. He knew, like, he knew right then, because it's like he knew it. And me and Destiny had it too, but me and Destiny in the game a lot together on third down. At the end of the season, we had that Philly game. We had a good game because we pick up on stuff. Destiny is a true three technique. I played three technique my whole life, but this year was my first time playing nose. But Destiny he's true three technique. So it's easy for me and him to look at something like, oh, they sliding this way. You know what to do.
Don't you wish it was camp tomorrow?
I do. I be trying to, stay engaged with the guys. Who got a group text going. And we pretty, we all communicate and thing all the time. Try to get each other to, all of us to, we sign a contract and everything, keeping each other. But I tell them all the time, man, I miss them. Everybody just need to like I can't wait to work with these guys, because I know all of them feeling the same way I'm feeling.
Right.
Talking to the guys after the game, and like keeping up with them right now. We all feeling that hurt still. That still stings us. We still got people looking at us laughing and stuff every day. That's a hurting feeling. When we get back, it's gonna be worse. I want it to be like this though. Right. I wanted this after the game. Like I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy it happened like that, but I would have wanted it to happen like that than us to get back to the championship game and lose to Birmingham. I would have fainted. I would have been so mad. But yeah, we needed that because we was on our high horse. We needed it. So, and then a lot of the guys didn't get picked up how we all thought we was. We all thought we was good. We was great. We hadn't did it. So it's like everybody gonna come in working harder. Everybody gonna, take it serious now. Like, people don't care what we did in the USFL or the XFL, the arena, whatever you play. Like, people want to see it in the big games, and we ain't doing it in the big games.
Now you guys got a year together. Mm-hmm. There's continuity as well. You fought next to each other for the 11 games, and mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like with a full camp, an influx of new blood, mm-hmm. whoever's going to get drafted, as well as these new kids that have been getting signed that are coming in. It's going to be a different team. Jamon Moore was traded today. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and Jamon Moore, that's one of my guys. Like, guy for who didn't. People knew all about Turpin, knew all about Zoe, Alonzo, and all them. But if you really knew about the Generals, if you was on the team with the Generals, people know Jamon was just as good as anybody in the whole league. There's a reason why he was in the league all these years. He was in the league last year. So fresh out the NFL to come back and got drafted as high as he did in the NFL. He's a beast, and he worked extremely hard. But all the they had their differences, with the coaches or whatever. But as far as a good guy that's gonna work hard and all this, he top strong as a beast, practice hard, he do everything.
He really didn't get an opportunity in the offense much at all during the year. But 1 week, around week 5,
that's his first time he chance to really play. He balled.
Week 5, and he had a great game. And I even said on the show after, here's a guy that I've been dying to see in the offense. And now that he's done something, we're going to see more. And then we didn't see him again, really.
Yeah, he was a hamstring problem. that he couldn't really get over with, get
It's
over
too
it.
bad.
Yeah, he just lifts too much, lift too many weights.
Does he? Is he a
Yeah,
heavy
for him,
stuff?
he is skinny, but he putting up real weight like 315,
Wow.
5, like squatting 400. Like he live and die in that weight room, and you can't be too muscled up. You got to have some type of fat on your body to, what you call the joints, balance out your joints and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
call him today though and get on him about that because I know he kind of pushed that because he told me he wasn't coming back to the USFL because he felt the way about it and he didn't get a chance to, But every stuff happened. People got to do the best decision for them. At that manage, just like now, give yourself a chance. He know what we finna do this year. I don't know why he did that because he know what finna happen this year.
Right. Well, he's off to Pittsburgh, and I certainly wish him well. He's an exciting player, and I hope the rest of the league finds that out next year. Just not at your expense, you guys.
Yeah. I hope he do good. Yeah, like you said, I hope he do
Yeah,
good.
you like everyone. It was a numbers game too. There was so many talented receivers on your roster, and some of those guys didn't get, like, we never saw Cam Eccles Looper because it was just so deep. And when he
Yeah.
did play, he did well too. So there's so many guys that you were 5 or 6 deep at that position. Randy Satterfield, another guy, had the great first game, and then he got lost in the shuffle too.
He gonna lead the league in receiving yards next year. I'm calling it now, putting it on paper. Probably like about a month ago, he was just talking about his frustration with the way the season played out. Started off good and kind of got lost. Kind of got lost in the shuffle like a lot of the guys. But all the guys, like I said, I tell him, man, the people that playing in front of you, they all in the NFL right now. No matter if they practice squads or they playing in the league. So you got to look at it as like a positive. Like, man, I wasn't playing behind no slouches. Like, he kind of got in there. He never played special teams in his life. This year was his first time playing special team, man. He excelled in that role. He went down and made some big tackles and stuff.
Yeah, he
Like, I
did.
told him to help him at the next level because he can run like a deer. Like, he was probably the fastest on the team. Ask anybody. He probably the fastest Turk. Yeah, jump out the gym, jump out the gym. Our receiving core, they nice. I'm looking forward to the new guys coming along and stepping up too. But we got guys that's definitely ready to, prove themselves, especially that receiving core. Because I feel like, look at our receiving core. And people didn't respect our receiving core. People respected our running game.
Yeah, but you think about the receivers, right? You got Turp, and then you had Shepard as well. He's in either practice squad or playing right now. I think he played last week. Alonzo Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cam Eccles Looper. A lot of guys, it was stacked. People didn't know what the Generals had. I don't think they realized the Generals had the kind of receivers that they had.
The players knew, and the coaches there knew. Like, everybody there was new, like they knew, but the fans didn't have a clue. And even on these other teams had some players at receiver. Like, they had some players, especially Birmingham. I mean, that was publicized, so people knew they had some good receivers. But Michigan has some receivers for sure.
You know who I liked? I liked Joseph Walker. That
Oh
guy
yeah,
was a good receiver, man, and he didn't get enough. He didn't get enough play during the year. I can't wait to see him come back next year. He was exciting.
He went crazy on us.
I know. He had the 2 touchdowns, 100-something yards. You guys couldn't stop him.
I wanted to hurt them DBs because of that. It's like we would lose that game because of that boy. He was just talking. He was getting up, talking crazy. Oh man, I won't talk as much out there on the field because I feel like a lot of times some of my teammates say I get on the guy too much and it kill their confidence, But I'm all for, like, hold me accountable too. Like, I'm all for that. I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to have fun, but I'm here to win games, make some money, win games,
and get paid a little bit.
It's not even about the NFL to me no more. Because, like I said, I wouldn't mind. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind. I tell myself every day, I'm a top 5 today. Like, not just trying to brag on myself, but I'm a top 5 nose guard in the NFL today. Even though I probably missed that wave. I probably missed that wave. Ain't 5, 10 guys in the world better than me in my position. And that's how I'm going to carry myself. And I want the other guys around me to feel the same way. What are we doing out here? Well, we just doing this just to say we playing? I want to dominate. I ain't trying to win. I want to dominate. Winning ain't enough. pains we out here going through. We don't do enough.
Toby, we've been going for a while, and we could probably keep on going. This has been amazing, but I feel like A, you're a busy guy, you got stuff going on, so I'm going to let you slide out. B, we got all off season to keep talking and have another show together. But I'm going to leave you with this. I'm teasing you a little bit. I don't know if you noticed my jersey. You had to have
the balls.
Yes, sir. Maybe we make a little wager on that game, Vols
Okay.
and Georgia. I'll buy you dinner if it doesn't go my way.
Okay, and vice versa. Okay, let's do that.
That's cool. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the legend, Toby Johnson. Toby, again, thank you, man. You're like the best guest. Thanks.
Oh, man. Appreciate y'all for having me, for real.
How about that interview with Toby Johnson, huh? The guy never fails to deliver. He's always got something funny to say and always a bold prediction. And this is about as bold as it gets, telling his teammates, I'm not here to play around. I want to win a championship. And I cannot wait to see what kind of motivation the Generals bring to the table when they hit training camp and make their way towards the regular season opener with defending their North Division title on their minds and then getting to the championship game and winning it. I'm telling you guys, this team is going to be laser focused. That's it for this week's edition of Generally Speaking. Next week, another big guest. And I don't mean in stature like Toby. I mean like up there in the organization. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You're just going to have to wait till next week to find out. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at NJ_Generals. No one brings you the news like we do. Something big is coming real soon, so hang in there. Thanks for listening.